WWE Fastlane is tomorrow night. Fortunately, I will be off, so I might catch it. But then again, Fastlane's going up against some stiff competition. One of the biggest competitions they're going up against is the Oscars. And usually the Oscars get more attention. Now, I know that with mobile devices like what I'm using here, the Kindle, along with Androids and stuff like that, laptops, you could watch both at once. You could watch the Oscars on TV, and you could watch Fastlane. Now, I know a lot of people are not really looking that much forward to Fastlane. Matter of fact, some people, feel that they could do without Fastlane. But now that we're here, this being the last pay-per-view before WrestleMania, I guess I might as well give my thoughts on it. And kind of see exactly where they would go with it. Now, we know we have a kickoff show which is going to have Miz TV in it with Paul Heyman. I would expect Miz TV to, after everything is done with Heyman, to break down and we'll finally get more build to Sandow finally having enough with The Miz. We'll have to wait and see. Now, we get on to the actual card, because I don't think they've announced a match yet for the pre-show, unless Miz TV is the pre-show event. We get to the actual card. First up, we have the Divas Championship match, Paige against Nikki. Now, booking-wise, there is no doubt that people are pretty much going to say that they're going to go with Nikki here, and Nikki's going to keep the belt. You're probably going to be right about that, but I'm going to play a little game of chance and say that Paige is going to walk out with the belt. And why do I say that? Because as we get closer to WrestleMania, I think we're going to be someone's going to be making her return sooner than later. And that might lead us to maybe some kind of a three-way, four-way diva match at WrestleMania. And the person I'm talking in particular is AJ. So, we'll just have to wait and see. Now, of course, with everything going on behind the scenes, in court and everything involving AJ's husband, that might be making it a little bit more difficult. But I don't think so. I think AJ will be making her return very soon. And I think, in a sense, AJ is going to probably get involved either during or after the match. But booking-wise, if I'm the WWE, I finally try to take the belt off Nikki. But then again, if I know WWE, they're going to leave it on her. So I would say, but me, prediction-wise, I'm going to play a game of chance, and I'm going to say let's go with Paige. But I've got a feeling WWE is going to keep it on Nikki until at least WrestleMania. Now, as far as the Tag Team Championship match goes, the Usos against Kid and Cesaro, basically the masters of the universe. This will be a good match. There is obviously no doubt about it. But the question is it time to take the belt off the Usos and put it on Kid and Cesaro? Well, obviously, Kid and Cesaro are meshing very well as a team. It would really help maybe from a total diva standpoint that if Kid did finally get some gold, and maybe that'll lead to Natalya getting some gold down the line, but who knows? Usos, obviously, WWE likes them because they're at least a consistent tag team. They're not in favor. Obviously, I guess any attempt to try to break them up has not happened, so it's really a toss-up here. between the teams. It's really a toss-up. But if I was to go with anybody, booking wise, I think I would put the belts on Kid and Cesaro. I really would. Prediction wise, though, I've got a feeling they might keep them on the Usos because it seems that no matter what team you try to get the Usos to drop it to, or you think the Usos would drop it to, they've always kept the belts. So prediction. So booking wise, I prediction wise, I think it's going to be the Usos. Booking wise, I think it's time for them to go with Kid and Cesaro. So that's just how I look at it. The Intercontinental Championship. The Intercontinental Championship. Dean Ambrose, Bad News Barrett. I think it'll be a good match. It'll be kind of an unorthodox match between the two. Not saying they won't have a good one. Both are good, can be good technical wrestlers, but both can be good brawlers. So I would assume that it's going. I would assume it's going to probably be double count out or double DQ or something up in booking wise, so that way they can have like another match maybe at Mania. But booking wise, because you got the crowd behind him, I would go with Ambrose. Prediction wise, though, I think they're going to go with Barrett. So, yeah, Ambrose, booking wise, would be the right decision. Prediction wise, though, they're going to go with Barrett. That's how I see it. Okay. Goldust, Stardust. And let me say this. I agree with Jeff on this one of OTRS, the Schleg Daddy of OTR Central. I agree with him on this one. They should have waited till Mania. Now, according to some sources, they still might get a match at Mania, and I believe it's going to be a retirement match. A match to where if Goldust loses, he retires. So, I would assume that might be the direction to go in with this. But this one, I'm going to, booking wise, I think you got to go with Goldust. As well as prediction wise, you got to go with Goldust because that way it builds to a rematch. Stardust maybe shedding the paint finally and going back to Cody and saying he wants one more match with Goldust, and that basically has Goldust agreed that if he beats him at Mania, Goldust has got to basically put his career on the line, and if he loses, he's got to retire from the WWE. He's got to retire from in-ring competition for good, end his career, if you will, finally bring his career to an end. So I think booking and prediction wise, you got to go with Goldust all the way around. Because like I said, if they're planning to do another match at Mania, that one will probably have more significance because that might be Goldust's last active match in the ring, and that could be a retirement match for him by putting Cody over at Mania. So that's how I look at this match up here at Fastlane, as being that stepping stone to their Mania match. And I think also they're going to have Dusty be like the referee of that one to make it more significant. Now, Daniel Bryan, Roman Reigns. The winner faces Brock Lesnar. This one is going to be really interesting because WWE is firmly behind both men. Daniel Bryan, for the second year in a row, they have no choice right now but to be behind him. So, who do you go with? Well, if you want to stay true to your original plan, you got to go Roman Reigns, but you got to let Roman Reigns show what he can do in this ring. Don't hold him back. Let him go full force and see what happens. If you go with Daniel Bryan, same thing. You got to let him do what he has to do to win. Let him go full force and just see what happens. Booking wise, though, I think it's going to either be a double disqualification or a double countout or something's going or a double pin is what's going to happen. It's going to be a freaking double pin without a shadow of a doubt. So we'll probably have both men because of that going into Mania against Brock Lesnar. Prediction wise, I think it's going to be the same thing. A lot of people, like, I think Jeff and several others are predicting maybe Sheamus is going to show up, turn heel, and cost Daniel the match, and that's going to set up their match at Mania. That might be the case. That might be the case. I wouldn't say it is. But I say that might be the case. They could surprise us and have Sheamus go heel and go after Roman. You never know. But it's going to be one of the two. That if Sheamus comes back and interferes, WWE is going to go with one of the two he goes up against. I mean, I know they're hard on to do Sheamus, Daniel Bryan, but we'll just have to wait and see what happens. And then Cena and Rusev. Cena and Rusev, which, believe it or not, I know you're going to hate hearing this. You think Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns are going to main event. Yeah, they'll be one of the last matches. But if you've got your poster child, your face of the company, competing on this card, and he's competing for a championship, no matter how insignificant, it is. No matter how insignificant it is, then you're going to have him main event the show. You're going to have him close out the show, especially if you have him win the title. I'm not saying he's going to win here. Especially after Monday, I think tradition is anytime something like that happens, the other person comes out on top somehow. But I'm assuming that if they book John Cena to win, that his match with Rusev is going to be the main event. It's going to be the last match of the night. I know some of you may not like to hear that. I know some of you may not like to hear that. But it's the truth. It is the truth. If they're booking him to win, he's going to be main eventing the show. Because if he's going to become a champion and you don't have your WWE Championship defended, then here you go. But if they don't book him to win, then I would say it's going to be the second match, and it's going to be before the main event of Reigns and Daniel. So this is how I look at it. Booking wise, they book him to win, it's going to be the main event of the show. It's going to be the last match. It's going to close it out. They book him to lose, it's going to be the second to last match. Prediction wise, I have to go with Cena on this one, despite how you might feel. I predict Cena's going to probably come out on top and win this match. Because I think they want to bring some, according to sources, they want to bring some prestige back, importance back to these mid-card titles. So I think Cena might win. But on the other hand, it's kind of a toss-up. Rusev, they want to keep the momentum with him. They might have him go over in some way. So it's kind of a toss-up here. And like I said, depending on how they book it, it's either going to be the last match of the card or the second to last match of the card. And then you get to Sting Triple H's showdown, the face-off. Now, a lot of people are pretty much predicting this is going to be a trap, a beatdown on Sting, so that it makes it look like Triple H is all arrogant and cocky and he's gotten rid of Sting and Sting's not going to show his face anymore. Some people, I'm sure, are already predicting that. Some people are assuming it's just going to be like in WCW. Sting's going to play some mind games, and just when it looks like Sting's going to get trapped, lights are going to go out, he's going to be gone. or he's going to have backup in some ways. Now, a lot of people are assuming, kind of wondering, okay, what is this all about with Sting? What's the story arc going to be? What's he going to say? And I think mainly to make it simple, I think Sting is going to point out that he doesn't like the Authority abusing the power and playing around with people's careers, just like the NWO did back in WCW, and just like every other Authority faction that he's encountered has done in the other promotions he's set foot in. So I would assume it's going to be something along the lines of that. It's going to build up, and this basically is going to be where the match is going to be made at Mania, with the stipulation that if Sting beats Triple H, the Authority is done for good with no chance of coming back. Or if Sting loses, he's gone from WWE. He doesn't step foot in the company again. So I think that's where they're heading towards it, and I think that's going to be one of the main reasons revealed during this face-off. So that's one of the main things, and I also think we're finally going to get some indication as to what's going on with Bray Wyatt and whether or not this thing with The Undertaker is going to come full circle and it's going to happen at Mania, whether we want to see it or not. So that's about it, folks. That's just my previews and predictions and how I think it's going to be booked for Fastlane tomorrow night. Let me know what you guys think down below. Comment if you like, and I'm out.